Hello, great day, everyone. All right, let's get the chat going. I'm feeling a little sleepy today. I got stung by a wasp on my neck 2 times. No fun whatsoever. All right, let's get this going. We have a pretty powerful day today, 22.11. We're going to see some bigger moves going on in the market today. Are you ready for this wild and crazy day that's about to ensue? I think it's about to get really crazy is what I think in the market. So in a good way. I think it's going to get crazy in a good way. I think we will likely see maybe some people getting taken out, some political figures. I feel like the Syrian, Iranian, Israeli war is going to get personal now, and there's going to be personal attacks on people. We got MicroStrategy up. Definitely watching this today. Gold, silver, 2 big ones to watch. As we see the dollar decline, those are going to go up. All right. I did mention that on my Angela Miles. If you guys saw that last night, I posted that up. So let's just clear this up right here. Let's check out what else we have going on. Had a very busy family day yesterday, and so I'm feeling a little tired today. We have a gravestone doji here at the top. We're hitting that 4 EMA. Hello, Julie. Yes, can you tell, Julie? I'm peppy, but not my like super overly energetic peppy self. I was sitting in the sun drinking my coffee. Did a bit of way too many steps yesterday. Okay, so we've got MicroStrategy here. Hello, why isn't this moving? And there we go. MicroStrategy. You know what? I haven't. Let's check on SBET and Circle as well. 2 that were rocking it last week, pulled back. We still have the big money here, but look at how it hit over here. It hit that resistance zone where they sold in the past and they brought it down. So for fun, just for fun, I want to check and see where is that big money from here. Down at 1636. So that would be my, hey, they like to typically bring it down to the 15 EMA. So today might be an awesome swing day again for us. But let's also look at Circle. Maybe. You got to wait and see. Circle, we've set up a trend here. Put it like that. So Circle coming down to that 15 EMA again. Look at how they wrote it right there. And that's where their big money level is at 201.48. And I also see an upward channel. Where is, why can't parallel channel? There we go. So I'm also seeing that. All right, just wanted to check those 2 out. Let's look at Nvda for today. I did mention last week we had some insider selling right on Nvda right here. So that is not really a wonder. Let's also check out the Barron's magazine cover, round table. I feel like when it's a round table cover, they are like making a rounded top. I don't know, I feel like that. And now we're looking at, let's go image insider. Let's get rid of this one. Well, okay. After the raids, an ICE operation at Louisiana racetrack exposes businesses' vulnerability to stepped up immigration enforcement. So he's putting on shoes for a horse and he's sanding them down because you have to sand them down their nails. Great day, Roger. And then he's putting on new shoes. Maybe the horse race is about to begin. Trump in the AI bubble, Nvidia, AI, Bitcoin. So I've been saying I saw that insider selling on Nvidia. Careful there. Also on other Bitcoin related stocks. And this is moving forward, but it looks like it's going to be a fast one. We've got 3 legs, not 4, so it's only 3 legs to stand on right now. That's what I see about that. So I feel like they're positioning for a bigger move. All right, I'm just going to close that. All right, fear and greed for today is at 73. Bit of an impulse move. Let's go to crypto fear and greed, 67. Could be a bit more movement to the upside, but still positioning. Let's close that one. Let's look at today's calendar. Correction this week. Let's go to filter. Let's do none. USD, apply, boom. Those are our announcements. So today we've got Powell speaking at 8:30, right? Manufacturing, API weekly statistics. Yellow means nothing really. Orange means could impact the market. Red, Thursday. We're going to see a rock and roll day on Thursday, I imagine. Many times I find personally that Monday mornings tend to be sort of Monday afternoon positioning for the bigger move swing throughout the week that will typically happen until Thursday morning, afternoon, or Friday morning. Friday afternoons, it's exiting positions, getting ready for another one coming up to enter on Monday. Chatter over the weekend with some big money friends, and then boom, that's what happens. So that's the weekly cycle that I see. So if you take off a Monday morning or a Friday afternoon, you're really not missing much because statistically, not a lot happens on those days. All right, so looking at that, we do have some volatility potentially coming at 8:30. Let's see if I can find that. Somebody had said Powell resignation is coming. So this could be like political death, right? Here, who is it? Powell speaks today. Resignation is expected. Record rate cuts coming. Altcoins will explode. Federal Chair Jerome Powell hit with criminal referral by House GOP Trump ally. So there are even statistics for betting if Powell is going to resign today or not. That's how crazy it is. So we shall see if it really happens. That could be really wild and crazy. We could see that the market goes to the upside or the downside, depending on what they choose to do with it. All right, let's clean this up. I do have kiddos going to camp today. I got to get myself a bit with it. Okay, so I had Nvda over here. Let's get into it. Nvda. I'm not really liking this music. It's a little too heavy. It's too heavy for my... Let's go world Latin music. Here we go. Because I'm on YouTube, I have to use license-free music. So I really love it when I go on TikTok and everything else, and then I can do everything else. But including YouTube means that I got to play music that is license-free. That's too slow. All right, here we go. Nvda. Let's do this. All right, 23.4. And if you guys are on YouTube channel, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Kick, put in a little chat, hello, great day, whatever you like, so that I know that those chats are working. If you have questions, if you have a stock you want me to check out, give you my opinion on, put it in the chat. I will do the best that I can to give you my opinion and help you profit. All right, that's what this is all about. Right, Roger? Right, Julie? You guys have been with me now for a while. You understand. All right, 144.05 is that point of control. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla went up above the 325 level. Hey, to me, it looks like we could be in bull mode. We got to test this trend line here. Boom. No wonder. It's so funny how the trend lines repeat and repeat and repeat. And people are like, how'd you draw that? Well, you know what? The computers, people's eyes, they do what they're going to do. And then those trend lines. Hey, Vladimir. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's go to MicroStrategy, which also means typically that Coinbase is a rockin'. So it looks like some positioning, some selling happened, then boom, pull back. We're in between the 15 and the 4. We got to get out of this zone pretty much for MicroStrategy, for Bitcoin in general. All right, big money level 402.77. Oh, coincidence that it happens to be when we break out of this trend line? I think not. All right, let's go to coin. Do I follow Tesla? Great American, great American. Yeah, you see it, I don't know if you're able to see or if you're just listening, but I do have it right there on my list that I'm going to go over. And I like Tesla as a company because it's not just an electric car company, right? There's a lot of other things going on with it. It's been sidewaysing for a long time. Time for a parabolic move. When the big guys are done, they will take it parabolic for sure. Much like silver, much like gold. So that's why we're also going to look at those today. I think SLV would be a good one for us to check out. Actually, I'm going to put that over here. Boom, boom, boom. Let's clear this up. Let's put SLV over here. Let's put GDX over here. Let's get rid of those two. This is my sort of, hey, let's check these out. List GDX. All right, big money is over here from earnings at 266.41. Great day, Lorenzo. Okay, Lorenzo has some as well. Lorenzo wants to see NBIS and qubits. I call it qubits or qberts. APLD, you got it, Vlad. Oh, sorry, that's not Vladimir. Sorry, that's Zontachi Uchiha, and Ion Q. All right. Let's see what else is rocking to the upside. Let's see our biggest gainers for today. This one is pretty crazy. What's our float on this one? 23.7. This must have had a split. No earnings. Earnings move on MedPace Holdings. Now this one is lower float. So this one looks like it's going to be interesting for today. I'm going to put that on. They sold at 460.14 from earnings. So caution on that one. Even though it is up, we're also going to check the short float. It could be a mover to the downside. All right, let's put this here. Lower than 50 million, so that's going to get a yellow caution. We'll schedule that back up later. DHI, earnings as well. Dr. Horton, not a lot of volume. BitX, yeah, Bitcoin's moving. GBH, we're not going to touch. IVF, we're not going to touch. LCFI, nope. IBIT. RXRX, let's go to IBIT today. Much of the Bitcoin ones are moving today, so let's add on IBIT there. Let's go here. How many shares are in IBIT? No, wrong one. This is what I want. Where's my Wall Street Journal? Here it is. IBIT. How many shares are in the trust? 1.29 billion. All right. And since this is an ETF, we got it right there. 67 is that big money volume. The futures have been opening down to flat for the last few months. Need those NASDAQ 175 plus and Dow 300 futures up from Great American, Great American. That is his or her perspective. All right, let's see. We've got a lot of earnings. GM is not just a car maker, but also an engine maker. for airplanes. All right, earnings this morning, 51.86. Look at how they tested that. All right. QS. Circle, yep. Joby Aviation. I like Joby. Joby had government contracts, went up. Look at that. I'd called it out back here, went on vacation, and boom, explosion. All right, since earnings, 866. Big money is still in down there. Let's look at Circle. Circle is in this trend line, was pulling that up earlier. Pulling back today, 117 million. 201.48. Could be pulling it back for bigger move. Let's see here. It's so funny. I was mistyping Tesla and I thought STLA is one I haven't seen in a while. And there it is, pulling back today. So funny. Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab. Retracing. Whew, if we bring this back down to the 15, it's going to go to 42.91. That would be pretty interesting, right? Okay. RKLB. 445. 25. 35. All right. So I'm going to tweet out what we are covering today. And if there's anything else that you guys would like to see, put it in the chat. We will talk about it today. So you all might be saying, hey, I just found you, Jane. Why on earth should I care anything about what you have to say? Well, first of all, you can always listen. Second of all, I've been in the stock market trading world since 2000. And I had my Series 7 as a registered sales assistant, working with 4 different brokers. I saw the dot-com bubble implode. I saw what it did to the economy. I was fresh out of college at that time, so I didn't quite get the macro view and the understanding. And then later, I got the big picture, right? I got the macro view. Fast forward, and that was my first, I had my first layoff of my life when the dot-com bubble imploded. Second layoff of my life was when I was 8 months pregnant, and then I had to figure out what I wanted to do to help pay for the growing family, right? And then I came back to day trading, and I learned all about day trading. And so that was back 10 years ago. My daughter is going to be turning 11. And so that's really how I came to be a day trader, was having my first daughter. So all of that being said, I'm here to help you guys. I have some experience in the trading world and really enjoy helping others. There's nothing better than helping others, in my opinion. So I'm here to help you guys. I have an opinion, you have an opinion, we all have opinions. I will respect yours, so I ask that you please respect mine. All that said, let me just post out the cryptos that we're going over, and then we will get into it. And I will show you guys what I use to make it super easy for figuring out where the big guys are, that big money is. It's not even as hard as following level 2, watching level 2. They can spoof on level 2. They can put up fake orders. So that really, yes, you could see stuff, but you could use that in addition. But I really just use the big money point of control. All right. Great American is saying the news headlines are doing all they can to scare participants out of the Tesla stock. You know what, Great American, best thing I can say is don't listen to the news. Don't read the news. Trade the stock chart. Trade the price action. Right? Brian Shannon, awesome guy, Alpha Trends, did the Anchored View app. He, price pays. It is so true. Price is the only thing that pays. MP? Yeah, I'll add MP on there too. Okay. So, what do I do? Hold on one second. Let me get my prop. Okay. So, pretend this is a whale. we've got the whale of the market. Big money, big wallets. The whales buy or they sell. If they buy at this price level and it goes up. I should turn it this way, huh? If they sell at this price level, it goes down, right? So we want to know where these guys are. We want to know where the big guys are, and that is at the volume weight, no, not volume weighted anchor price. It's the anchored volume profile is what I use. I teach you all about it. If you go to carpeprofit.com, carpeprofit.com will lead you to this page. That's me. Go to the bottom, how to trade like a billionaire. It's $11. It will show you how to set it up on your charts. Super easy, super simple. Again, if you can figure out where this level is, if it's going up, hey, Bitcoin looks like it's really going to go up now. They've had since the 10th, we have had 11 trading days where they've traded it sideways. They've made a position. We're above it. Looks like they want to take it higher. I'm going to be a bull on Bitcoin right now. Why? Because we're above the big money and they've had 11 days of consolidation. You want one of these? It's called Icy. It's called Icy, Thai Icy if you want one. It's a seal. We call it shoo shoo. I don't know why. It's just the kids, things happen. Okay, so for swing trading, I'm looking at that 24-hour chart. That's over here on the left. For day trading, I'm looking at a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart. I look at the beginning of today's trading day for day trading. Why don't I look at 3 days ago, 5 days ago? Because that's just what I do, right? If you find that it works a better way for you, go with it. I'm not going to shoot you down for having a great experience using it. I want everybody to make money. Okay. So that being said, since the beginning of July, big money daily point of control is at 17,873 and 38 cents. They have not moved it. For our intraday, for Bitcoin, over here, intraday, it's hanging out at 117, 115.50 for the intraday point of control. 117, 115.50. You know what, Great American? You have to think of it this way. News is the greatest marketing tool they have for getting people in or out. If a really big guy, if this whale wants to buy a lot of shares or a lot of Bitcoin, they're going to tell you it's going to crash because they need people to sell so they can buy. If they want to sell, they need to tell people it's going to the moon. This is going to be the best thing ever. Have you ever heard of Jim Cramer? That's a lot of what Jim Cramer's job is. That's why there's the inverse ETF to Jim Cramer, because that's what the big guys do. Whatever he comes out of his mouth, sell this, they buy. Whatever he says, buy this, they sell. There you go. Long and short of it. Don't listen to the news. Okay. Daily point of control for Ethereum, 29.90 and 11 cents. Intraday for Ethereum is hanging around over here, 36.93.44. Boom. All right, let's go to XRP. So we start off slow. We'll build out our trades, and then we'll keep going in stocks. All right, over here. So we have the anchored VWAP over here. Not anchored VWAP, anchored volume point of control. 344.81. They moved it up from down here. You can see that visual movement. Boom! They went up and it's higher. So therefore, bullish at the moment while we are above it. Intraday, I'm talking about swing trading. Intraday, 347.74. All right, let's go to Doge. Doge, 24-hour is down here. Down here at 17,173. 0.17173. All right. Intraday for Doge is 0.26559. 0.26559. You might say, Jane, how can you tell? I've got the double colors right here, yellow and pink and yellow and red on this one. So that's how I can tell. Solana moving up, continuing. Yeah, they bought. No wonder. Okay, 162.94. And intraday, looks like 199.94. So even though they bought over here, it looks like they were selling today as long as we stay below 199.94. All right, let's create some day trade setups for crypto now. So we've got these lines going horizontally. Those are camarellas and pivots. Those are going to be where some floor traders learned to enter and exit. So why should we care about that? Because they work, because people enter and exit off of them. It's like moving averages. If you had never studied any sort of moving average or any price amount, you would go, why on earth did it stop there? You could say, why on earth did it stop right here this day at the high of 119,110 and 1 penny? Well, we had this camarilla right there. That's why, right? Let's go 116,400. I'm feeling a bit of congestion today. 116,400 and 119,250. Boom. Yellow means that they are in between the day trade setup positioning. Once it goes outside of this, higher probability of a bigger move. If you've never read Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, just comment on my Twitter. I will put up a link for a free PDF for you to read it, and you can read away. All right, so we've got bulk of the volume is right here. If we go in at 37.50, we got 20 points. That's pretty good. Let's do 37.50 here. Jane, why are you going down below? Like, why didn't you go above the high? Well, I will tell you, because we see that 70% of the volume, these green lines right here, have traded between 36.49 and 37.43. So we probably want to go outside that 70% bell curve type stuff. So let's put it 36.50 and 37.50. There you go. Let's go to XRP. All right, XRP, 3.44 and 3.54 here. Negative 3.55. Right there. All right, there we go. All right, let's look at Doge. Roger, you like Latin music, don't you? .20705 for an upper bound right there. For a lower bound, let's bring it down here. 0.261. No, I always forget that. 0.261 there. All right, let's go to Solana. I like a little of everything. All right, Roger. Roger, aren't you getting busy this time of year? School stuff? 202. I remember school time is always busy for you. 196. All right, 196 and 202. There we go. All right, that is the crypto. So we're going to be moving on to the stocks, onto the list, onto the ones that you guys called out, and we'll cover those. You can see that we do have two that are positioning, Bitcoin and XRP. That could be interesting. So that means that we might see bigger moves on those two, right? The rest of them are green. That means that big money was buying on them. All right, time to go quick on the stocks because I got to take my kiddos to camp. Leaving at 8:30. All right. Got it, Roger. All right. 329.51 here. and 327. Boom. There we go. 327, 329, 51. All right, let's also go to the daily short volume here and see what's going on. Tesla, oops, Tesla, try that again. Tesla, 62%, good chance for a short squeeze at open, especially with that trend test right there. MicroStrategy is at 50%. That means that neither opening long or short, 50-50, just a wash. Coinbase, more people opened short than long, so it could be a short squeeze there. MedP, ooh, look at that, 81% short yesterday. Oh, didn't mean to do that over here. Let's see, what was the volume? 81% of 338,000. So 274,000 were short yesterday on MedP. Potential for a reason for that crazy run yesterday. All right, IBIT, more people were long yesterday than short, so not a potential for a short squeeze at open. So we have some nice short squeeze potentials. I know Julie loves those. All right, so we got Tesla going. Let's go MicroStrategy. If I'm going too fast, ask a question, but I try to start out slow so you guys can see what we're doing and then pick it up from there. All right, 433.50 for potential long trade there or below. If we do 428, that gives us 62 cents. Let's do 427. That gives us almost $2. Okay, 427 and 433.50 right there. Okay, let's go to Coinbase. Coinbase looks like, look at that, starting to squeeze. We're starting to squeeze. 420, they make it easy. Thank you. 420 level, tested it. And down here, 415. Thank you. Made it easy today. 415, 420. All right. So MedP is yellow. Anyone know why it's yellow? Anyone know the answer as to why I would have that be yellow? Put it in the chat. Where's the legend? You guys see the legend? Okay. You know what it has to do with the Bitcoin relation to the market. There's the Bitcoin futures tend to trade synonymously with the market and tend to lead the market. All right, 442.50 and 450. Sorry, 452. You got it, Great American. Less than 50 million in the float. And so that is why it's a, hey, less than 50 million, be extra cautious because this could turn against you fairly quickly, right? So that's my caution. This can move very quickly. It was up 80%. Right now they sold at 460.14. Looks like this is potentially going down. For our intraday, this is from earnings. This is our intraday at 449.99. So as long as we stay below that and below this, it looks like this is going to pull back down. But it is low float, so be extra cautious. Above 8 million, it is optional. All right, IBIT over here. iShares, Bitcoin Trust, everything advancing in Bitcoin land. All right. 67.80 gives us 11 cents. Let's go 68. 68 right there. And below, we go 67.40. That gives you 20 cents. All right. If it goes back down. 67.40 and 68 right there. The long trade looks a little bit nicer because you got a bigger potential move right there. Short trade, you got some speed bumps, headaches, and you got big money down at 67. All right, let's go to Nvda. All right, Nvda topping off. We have a little island gap here. If we were to put this on a 3-day, you'll be able to see it better. Oops, undo that. Let's put that back to 5 minutes. Let's make this a 3-day. You can't really see it, but there is, how about 3 hour? There we go. You can see it better on the 3 hour. So I'd say, hey, 169 overall is going to be that level to watch. They've tested it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So that might be, it's a rounded top, round table, and we see a bit of a shoulder head. So if it breaches up above 172, that would be an indication to me, hey, we are not in a head and shoulder island top. So let's see what our trade setup is for the intraday trade. All right, let's bring it back down here. Put it down at 171.20 or below 169.50. All right, 169.50, 171.20 over there. All right, let's go to GM. Oh, hey, you know what? I didn't put it on over here. GM bold. Let me bring this back over here. This is also earnings, MedP. There we go. All right, so GM, we have earnings. Big earnings move, brought it down to the 33, exponential. Right now, big money is hanging out at 51.86. Did that change? No, it did not change. So let's put it right at 52.12 right there, or below 51.40. 51.40 and 52.12. See. Okay. Let's go to Joby Aviation. Just found your channel. I like it. Presentation content, easy to follow. Thanks so much, Great American, Great American. I tell you, if you go to carpeprofit.com and you check out that book, this one right here, Trade Like a Billionaire, makes life easy. Easier to follow. Just follow the big money. If they're selling, guess what? Go with them. It's the one time in life it's good to be a follower. Because then you're like, okay, the big money's going to take it up. Let me ride with them. Let me make some money with them. Oh, they sold it. Okay, let me sell with them. Let me make some money with them. I'm going to put 15, 60, and 16 here for Joby. Circle. I got to hustle. So Circle, we have this downward trend right here, and we have an upward channel that we're seeing play out. So we got to kind of break out of the price area, roughly 230, sort of right where this crosses, 226, 227.50 for it to be a confirmed upward move again. 211.50 here for upward, for a long trade. And let's go, where's our lower bound there? 206. I'm going to put it 208.50 right here. 208.50 and 211.50 for Circle. All right, RKLB, Rocket Lab, Rocket Lab, Rocket Man. Okay, let's go here. 46 and 45.40. 45.40 and 46. All right, let's check out. Let's go to the other ones. We got NBIS, right? You guys are asking about NBIS. Also, when you put it in, ask if you can put it in for day trade or swing trade. That's awesome. Like Lorenzo put in NBIS and qubits, right? Let me know if you're looking at swing trade or day trade, because I don't always, my reading mind skills are not the best, so it's easier to know, do I need to concentrate on the left or do I need to concentrate on the right for you? All right, so NBIS here, big money, it's above it. I also see the channel. Do you guys see the channel? Right, there's the upward channel. It also hit the midline, went up, tested the midline, came back down, hanging around. It's a little bit weaker. On a day trade here, I would look at this and I would go below 51.79 and above 53. Boom. Okay, let's go QBTS. So QBTS, D-Wave, Quantum. All right, we're above big money over here. We can see a double top test at the $20 range. Nice round number in people's minds. Yeah, hey, I'm going to get out at 20 bucks. Yeah, me too. Awesome. Okay, so everybody stopped it at 20. That's a big resistance. Above 1880 or below 1850. Okay, let's go to APLD. Non-emotional, what is the chart telling us, right? So above big money for APLD, yes, it broke out of this downward trend, found a bottom right here, 912, moved back up, resistance, was not able to break above 1250 over there. So if we look here above 1120, not a lot of big space here. I put it below 1098. You got 12 cents. If you wanted a bigger trade below 1075, then you're going to have roughly 30 cents. But you could take a smaller trade below 1098. Okay, IonQ. IonQ, you can see we're topping out. Boom, boom, boom. Right here. Big money is right here. 40.19. They sold and then they leveled it out and they've taken it higher. We are not able to stay above this former point of control over here at 45.90. Right here, let's see, we could put it, let's do 44.80 or below 44 over here. Hey babe, I'm gonna be done very for lunch. Just take the can. Okay. All right, sorry about that kiddo question. GDX, gold, GLD. We're starting to see, you know what? I didn't put a July point of control on here. Let's do that. Let's do it. Big money July is at 52.44. We are above. You can see if we pull this back, or on this one, we pull this back to a 3-day chart. You can see we had this downward trend. We have broken out of the downward trend. Right? So if you look at it on a 3-day, sometimes when you get rid of the noise, you can see, hey, look, we have just broken out of this. So GDX on a day trade, I would put it 53.20 or below 52.60 right there. All right, let's go to GLD, checking out gold and silver because they are rocking. All right, GLD, we got an island gap going on over here on the 3-day. Let's pull it out. You can see a little bit of like a head and shoulders top, right? If this is the head, shoulder right here at 313.25. So for the day trade, I'm looking at big picture, continuation move potentially. Day trade, I'd put it up above 313 or below 312.20. All right, let's bring this back to 24-hour chart. Let's also look at the gold futures. Do you hear my daughter singing? It's cute. All right, so day trade is gold futures over here. We can see it slowly sort of topped out. We do have this trend line of the highs. So confirmed move above 34.60, 34.50 zone. To me, it's going to be continuing to move to the upside. Let's check out SI, silver futures. Silver futures, we need to bring this back to a weekly chart. So you can see we are right over here. We're testing a trend and a test of 39.60, 39.50 area. Above that, next high is going to be 43. And then next after that, it's probably going to be the 50s. So I'd called out last week on Angela Miles, silver's going to 50 by the end of the year. All right, so let's see if that happens. Let's check out SLV, see what the silver trade is. For a day trade, we're topping out new highs right now. Big money in as of March. I love you too, babe. I'm coming shortly. Right here. You're so sweet. All right, make sure that's on the 7th. All right, so you can see big money's right here, 34.67. It was down here around 33, then they popped it higher, 34.67. Day trade above 35.50 up here. Ata, I'll be just a minute. I'll be just a minute. I'm coming with you guys. The pool bag is the green bag. I don't know where it is. Your towels are downstairs. Go pop them in the dryer. They might be wet. Take another towel. Exactly, Great American, Great American. If the big guys are buying, it doesn't matter. They're going to take it higher, right? So you can see that they moved it up. As long as it stays above this point, you know that's your stop out. Okay, let's go to MP. I gotta have to hustle because my kiddos are starting to get ready to go. All right, MP, materials. Let's get rid of these lines down here. Big money all the way down here at 21.17. They took it higher, so we had a bearish dark cloud cover, bearish engulfing, second day down. This might pull back to 55.20 over here, potential short on that one. Let's say above 58.80 right here, or below 57.80. 57.80 right there. All right, let me get into the indexes quick, and then I'm gonna have to run and take the kiddos to camp. So Dow, ooh wee wow. All right, so our big money level, 443.42. Okay, we are below that. For a potential day trade over here, let's look and see. We got to go below 442.60. We have the trend line here. 442.60 or above. Big money is right there at 443.43. I'm going to say 444.22. 23, 25, 444.25, 442.60 and 444.25. All right, so we're in between. It's indecision for the Dow, their positioning. The Russell, we are below the big money since July 1st at 222.25 over here. Escape. 222.25. All right, so potential day trade on the Russell. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Check it out. Okay, 222.01, our Camarilla zone up here. Big money's hanging out on the intraday at 221.19. Let's go below 220.80. There you go, 220.80 and 222.01. They sold in July. However, we are still above the April and January level. All right, let's go to the Qs. Over here. So for everyone that does follow, I am live every morning in the summer, 7:30 on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Kick, and TikTok. I have to get the connection reestablished again. During the school year, I'm at 8:15. So summer is earlier because of camp schedule. I'm a mama too. If I'm not live, typically it is because I have a family event going on or something going on with family. So that is what's going on with that. So it's not anything that I'm neglecting you all. The reason why I got into this was family first, and it's a great thing for that. However, I'm like yesterday was not live because we had a family fun day. All right, so the SPY 627.80 and 629.20. We are above all the levels. The only one that we're starting to see selling on is the Russell at this time. So be aware that many times the Russell can be a leading indicator of the market because it does have 2,000 stocks in that basket ETF. So if we start to see that that selling is happening, we start to see that they're positioning on the Dow from July. When we start to go below the three different levels of January, April, and July, that's a pretty big indication that we're going to see a top in the market and a sell-off happen. So I hope you all enjoyed the live stream today. Carpe Profit, seize those profits one trade at a time. Check out my website, Carpe Profit, and don't just have a good day, have a great day.